Can you tell me about the first time you met Dougal? Or heard about him?
Heard about him, first time I met Dougal. Wow, back in, must have been 93, something like that, when he used to look like Harry Potter, with his round glasses on. No, I worked at Telewest Communications, and in those days cable was in its infancy, and I moved into this office, which was this massive floor space with no built offices, no desks, you just sat anywhere kind of situation, and I had already inherited an ad agency called Redmond Jones, and somebody came over to me and said, "Oh, your PR agency, by the way, we've already got one called Stockful with Grace Anderson, and the contact there is Dougal Paver." It's the first time I'd ever heard his name, and I thought, Dougal Paver, wow, this sounds like some lovely PR, London-y typey person, you know, and I thought, God, this is really weird, you know, so anyway, picked the phone up and spoke to him, and of course, you know, Dougal, we all know Dougal, we all know what he's like now. Obviously, he was completely the opposite to what I imagined, but you know, you see this grand name, so obviously people must see that, must hear his name and think, you know, what's this guy like? And he's completely different, I think.
Hiya, I'm Jade. Come and take a look inside Paver Smith and meet the staff and find out what we do on a day-to-day basis. I'm just going to check my emails, why don't you have a look around? H, when you get a minute, can we run through the Formby Hall press release?
Yeah, of course. I'm just getting ready for Renshaw at the moment, so can we sit down at about 1 o'clock and go through it then?
Well, that's great, I'll stick it in the diary.
Cool, thanks.
Have you met Pete, our account manager, who works on a lot of our professional service clients, and the majority of our property and legal clients? What are you up to now, Pete?
It's working on a bit of DLA Piper, which is a law firm that we work for in Liverpool and in Manchester. I've just been selling in a feature idea for the MEN.
Any luck?
Yeah, potentially. We've just got to get some copy over to them now and see what happens.
Oh well, I'm sure you can work your magic. Guys, I didn't realise it was in use.
That's okay, Jay. We're just working on the Marks & Spencer Simply Food launches, you know, for the stations. As you know, the first one is Chelmsford in a few weeks' time, and we've got a really tight deadline. We've got to choose the food images for the posters, and the poster artwork's got to be out today, hasn't it, Charlie? So if you don't mind, we'd like to get on. Okay.
Oh hi, my name is Dougal Paver, I'm the Managing Director of this business, and my objective is to create the best PR agency in the region to work for. The best terms, the best conditions, the best working environment, the best pay, and to do that we're also looking for the very best people. So if that's you, give me a shout, I'd love to hear from you.
This is Anita, our lead creative. What are you working on there, Anita?
Bayboat Point. It's a luxury development of penthouses and apartments up in Blundell Sands. Doing the whole package for them, really, PR, marketing, brochures, hoardings.
So it's a big job. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Rachel Smith and I'm Operations Director, which means I'm responsible for standards. Standards are important to us. That's why we're the only local PR agency to have won Investors in People, and why this year we're going for PRCA, our industry standard. Together, these two make sure we're the type of business that you'd like to work with.
So here's Rachel and Karen and Karen's review meeting. We have these on a monthly basis to discuss our development and keep climbing up the career ladder, and we prove really successful. Actually, we'll have to be quiet now. We've got a brainstorming meeting going for one of our project works that we've got on with the Liverpool Women's Hospital. It's a really great account, and we're all taking it very seriously. So.
I mean, the real point of this this is a very
boring job, no prospects, quiet office. That's not Paver Smith. I'm Martin Best. I'm one of the founders and directors of the company. Our aim is to be one of the top 5 agencies in the Northwest. So if that excites you, give us a call.
Well, I hope you found this tour useful, and I hope to see you soon, but for now, I've got to get back to do some work.
There are many shows on the air which are basically interview shows, and they start out in a very austere setting. There's the interviewer, he sits behind a desk, and in the background somewhere, some figure in the news sits. He's later in the show blinded by a spotlight. I'd like to present one of these shows. They start off very dramatically, something like this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Wallace, Nightline. Our guest in the studio tonight is Dr. Werner von Werner, one of the many German missile scientists involved in our American missile program. Dr. von Werner, I suppose the question most often asked you were involved in the German missile program, you're now involved in our missile program. Was the fact that you were involved in the German missile program a matter of political conviction, or was this political expediency on your part? Oh boy, that one, huh? Actually, I didn't have that much to do with it, to tell you the truth. This is back around 1940. I was working at a beer garden in Stuttgart. And like on Friday night, you know, the waitresses and the waiters, we'd go to one of the girls' pads, you know, and order some pizzas and some schnapps and get half-gassed, you know. And I used to fool around with these inventions, you know, and I'd take this tin can and put a firecracker underneath it, and I like the firecracker, and that thing go 4 or 5 feet up in the air, you know. And everybody'd say, what the hell was that? Or what a nut that Warner is. Somebody want to get Warner's hat, you know, something like that. Except this one party, the little guy walks over, he's got a little mustache and a piece of hair falling on his eye. He says, hey, that was interesting what you did with a tin can there. What causes that? I said, well, see, that's, for every action, there's a reaction, you see? And the force of the firecracker is see, first of all, it starts toward the floor. But the top of your can, see, it's... Every time I do it, it jumps 4 or 5. He says, what do you call that thing there? I said, that's a rocket. It's named after my landlord, Irving Rocket. See, I was about 3 months behind an aunt, you know, and comes a knock at the door, and he says, look, Warner, you know, you got to knock off with the firecrackers in the middle of the night, you know, because the neighbors are complaining. And don't hand me the Madame Curie bit, you know what I mean? What her landlord wanted to do about her rent, that's his business. I want my rent, see? I said, look, I'm working on an invention. If it works out, I'll name it after you. He says, you're going to call it an Irving? So, no, I'm going to call it a rocket. So anyway, the guy at the party, little mustache, piece of hair falling in his eyes. He says, that would make a terrific weapon, you know that? I said, well, you'd have to get right on top of the guy. And, you know, you'd have to hit him in the face or something like that. With a tin can to really hurt him. I think your big problem is going to be getting that close to the guy, you know? He says, no. What if we took 100 firecrackers in a great big tin can, see? I said, well, we sorted that, but your problem there is, see, by the time you light the fuse on the last firecracker, he said, look, the reason I'm asking you all this, I'm head of the German people. I said, oh. I said, you know, congratulations. I hadn't seen a paper in a couple of days. So